Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. We are the 30 for 30 for independent artists, and we celebrate music, period. Today, we bring back not only a beautiful face, not only a beautiful voice, but a humble soul that heals the world through her music and brings the inside outside. Please introduce yourself to the world, please.
What's up, beautiful people? My name is Tiffany Jaye, also known as Miss Tiffany Jaye.
All right. Hey, for anybody who's been on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, which I know you have been, you know this face and you know this voice. So before we get started, please, if you're looking on YouTube, you're watching, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell and click all. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, or Anchor, give us a 5-star review. And let's get on with the show. Miss Jaye, it is a pleasure to see you and talk to you.
Yay! It's a pleasure to be back. I'm so glad that I'm here. I think this is the first time that I've ever got to come back a second time around with somebody. So it feels good to like a come back home kind of thing.
And welcome. I'm glad you said that because I said to you in the last one, we have an open door policy, right? So welcome home. We're going to have a homecoming with you tonight.
Yeah.
I have some new questions I want to ask you because I felt our first interview was incomplete.
Okay. And it was a good one too. So there's so much to learn and find out. So I'm curious to see what you're going to ask this time and see the growth from that time because that was like last summer or something like that. Wasn't it?
You was episode 138.
Ooh, where you at now?
We're in the 150s.
Okay. Not bad.
No, it's not bad. And it's wonderful to see you. I'm an admirer of yours, to be honest. And we're going to talk about that on the interview.
Okay.
We last time we talked, we spoke about how music, R&B music, had lost a lot of its soul. And in the past couple months, the soul actually has been coming back in the R&B music. And it seems that people are now singing from the inside to the world outside. That's something I asked you about. How do you see the landscape of R&B music going nowadays?
I gravitate to music that I like, that reminds me of the soul that you're talking about. If it doesn't really have soul, I'll take a listen to it and survey it, and I just say, okay, that was cool, just to see. But some of the music that I've been listening to lately by Lucky Daye, Victoria Monet, I believe, and Kevin Ross, we'll just name those three. I feel it has that essence that you're talking about. And I was looking for Love by Kevin Ross. And so I had been singing it and I was like, but I need to know the words. So when I went to look up the lyrics, sometimes seeing the lyrics, because we miss seeing that like back in the day with the CDs and just being able to like absorb the song, you know? So being able to read the lyrics and listen and sing to the song, I could really see and understand if somebody wrote this and they were saying this about somebody. It's just the most beautiful thing. And I almost cried just reading it. And I was like, that's what this whole thing is about. You know, not just putting something out just to get clicks or likes, but really connecting with somebody and telling the story. So that's what I enjoy. That's what I gravitate to. And that's what I try to do in my music. And I understand that it may not be for everyone, but if it does hit you and touch you, then that's the point. Then it got to you.
You know how we say music heals the soul?
Yes.
A genius is a child that is deemed very smart, proficient, educated, right?
Correct.
But a genius is also an adult who can keep to their childhood and be honest, right?
Yeah.
And you have a very beautiful picture of a little girl on your Instagram, right?
Yes.
And in that picture, you have a caption of what would you tell to your younger self? Why do we lose the younger self when we are our younger self just with more experience?
I think because of fear, mainly fear. I think that's the opposite of love, you know? There are two main emotions that everything comes out of as far as like anger and hate and stuff like that. It's because of fear. But when you truly love yourself, all that stuff doesn't even matter anymore. And I was just looking through my Google Photos and just looking through a whole bunch of stuff. And that's one of my favorite pictures because I remember That's when we were living in New York, and it was always we going down south to, visit family. And I see myself, the person who I was when I was in New York was just like the pure essence of who I'm returning back to, if that makes sense. And when I look at that picture, it's like I want to be her. Sipping on the drink, wear a little bracelet on, looking at the camera like, and what? And it's just it's just so raw, authentic, and confident in just the skin that she's in. And then I remember when I lost it, coming down here and not understanding and knowing who or what I was and why the change and what to do with it. And it took me a very long time to gain that confidence back, unapologetically. So when you guys see me dance online, that's a return back to when my sister's dad would play the records every night. And that's what I did. I danced every night before I went to sleep. And so I did it before Instagram. And then one of my friends was like, well, let the people know who you are. And the only way to do that is just kind of put the camera up. So a lot of times, I'm already sitting listening to music, and then I get up and I'm like, you know what, let me share this. And then I sometimes may do a choreography routine, or sometimes I don't. And it's just good to be free, get all of that stuff. Just, I don't know, it's just good to be free. So I sat and I thought about it, what I would tell myself. And I'm not only telling myself as in the past, but I'm telling myself right now. The inner child is always there. And it's me when I'm excited. It's me when I want to be silly. It's me when I have the giggles. It's me. I just finished eating the peanut butter jelly sandwich right before it, and that's the go-to. It's okay, and you put your chips in there. Like it's just who you are. It's just learning about how to mature over time, like you said, with experience, and let wisdom and experience guide you to not make the same mistakes and go around in circles. But other than that, like, we're basically grown kids, just living and loving life, And
that's the thing about freedom. I once said in other interviews that freedom is the gift people want, but they don't understand. Because everyone wants to live under liberty and don't fight for their freedom. Yet when you hear the music, you shed your liberty to become free.
Yes.
What's the most beautiful thing about being free that people take for granted, you would say?
You getting real, woo. Okay. What's the most beautiful thing about being free? I don't think anyone can take that away from you. It's whatever you want it to be, but it's yours to own. Now, I understand there are people in prison or in unfortunate circumstances where they feel like they're in a box, but in your mind and how you choose to interpret the situation, it shows your freedom. So here's an example that I'm just now thinking of. In my current state right now, I'm living in a new home. And for the last, I don't know, plus 20 years, I was in a different space, in a different home, literally and physically. And then there's been many times where I've tried to change my room. I've been in different rooms of the house, the old house and my mom's, and try to change it up to make it work to my liking. And I was just in a constant state of like depression. And now that I look back at footage of me in the old house, I look back and I say, Tiffany, there may have been things wrong with the home, but you could have still just shined as much as you are now, if not more. And I asked myself, why were you not free? Is it because I chose not to be? You know what I mean? And I think that's what it was. I chose to let the situation take hold of me, and I just let it take my freedom. And now I tell myself, remember, and don't ever forget, it doesn't matter where you are, where you lay your head. You always smile. You always just share the gift of life that you have within you, and where you are doesn't determine or take away the gifts that you are given. Because I was like, you could sing when you was back in New York as a little girl. You could sing when you moved down here to Charlotte. You can sing when you got the record deal. You can sing when they said you didn't get the record deal. You can sing through the ups and downs. You can still do all of those things. You can't take it away. I've even had random visions of if I ever went to prison for something that they were doing unjust, but I, stood my ground. And if that was my life, what would I now be charged to do? Would I still sing? And I'm like, yes, of course. Because it's the people that's around me that still need to be blessed and be saved and all of that stuff. So I feel that the one thing that people don't recognize is it's yours to take. It's yours to have. It's yours to own. And you got to choose to do it. Just like love, you have to choose to love, love yourself mainly. A lot of people choose fear every single day. And one more thing, so I can close out the question with the answer to it. A guy that I was listening to on his podcast, he was saying about triggers. Triggers can be positive or negative, and you can encourage yourself to have a positive trigger. And he says every time he walks through the doors, he says something positive to himself. I was like, cool. So I got alarms on my phone, and I can actually make the alarm speak. So what I've been doing is every hour on the hour, it says something positive. The things I can remember are at 6:30 when I wake up, it says, today's going to be a good day. Or at 3:00, it says, brown-eyed girl, it's 3:00. And I'm like, yeah. So it's just like a little pump me up kind of thing. But every hour until about the 7:00 hour, it says something positive. And it has helped me. There was a time I went to sleep maybe like an hour before it's time for me to get up. And that alarm was like, today's going to be a good day. I snoozed it. And it came in, today's going to be a good day. I snoozed today. And I said, get your ass up. That's what I told myself. Like, it's going to be a good day. And I was like, yeah. So a lot of times those positive affirmations, I think that we forget to do. You really got to say them. And I said to myself, even if I'm thinking it, I'm going to still let my phone speak to me to just push, whatever it is that I need. And then that's definitely helped my mood. And I'm just so thankful and excited. So be free, choose to be free.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the words of the philosopher and songstress Tiffany Jaye on Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. I want to ask you this. The world beats us down with a constant barrage of visuals that attack our emotions. And when you talk and you gave your answer to the question, you talked about the things that are inside of you.
Okay.
Why do we let people kill our inside when the inside is what determines our expression in life, whether we sing, dance, right, or not?
I don't know if everyone has an inner vision of who they are on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't have that, your mirror is kind of like void. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of looking back at yourself and letting that be the thing that reflects back to you. So we are on our phones, not to say me, you, but just the we in general. We're on our phones more than ever, like in the history of mankind. And that tends to become a mirror for some people, And so, especially with social media, they're probably wondering, well, who am I? That this is what society says that I should be, or is it, or I don't know. And I don't know if they're thinking about the results that they're getting from said social media and whatever images that are being put out. So I just think they don't have a vision. Nobody's, your family hasn't told you, maybe. Your friends haven't told you, you're not around the right people. And it starts probably at home. I'm blessed to have had a great support system and people always pour into me. My thing was I was a little skewed because I didn't understand, oh, you're so beautiful. Well, I thought these are the things that happen to beautiful people. Therefore, I must not be beautiful, if that makes sense. So it just couldn't compete. It didn't compute, in my mind. Why do we not have money? Why do we not have anything to eat? Why every year I'm wearing the same clothes and it's a struggle to get something new for Christmas kind of thing. Why am I the only one doing chores in the house? That kind of thing. These things don't happen to beautiful people. Therefore, I must not be. And therefore, your confidence level goes down and down and down. Where I have a really good friend of mine from outside looking in. He was like, Tiffany, you are that chick. Like you were You are, and you always will be. I don't know why you can't see yourself. And I could not see myself. And then somehow you step outside and then you look back and then you're like, oh, wow. Like, or you just have this out of body experience and you're like, that's a really beautiful girl. Like, that's what I tell them. Like, you're a really beautiful girl. Like, do you believe that though? And then I have to just sit with myself and just say, okay, what is the problem? What's going on? And then you realize there's fallacies, right? So the thing that I stated before, just because this happened does not mean that. That's not what that means. So get that out of your head. And then you start to implant those positive things back in. You start to talk about what you do have versus what you don't have. What you don't have doesn't even matter because you don't have it. So why focus on that? Focus on what you do have. In the last 4 months, I've been saying I'm going to live in a life of abundance. I'm going to get the money that I need. And I'm telling you, every single time I have not gone with it, without. Somehow it's pouring in from some kind of tax credit or something like that. Or somebody was like, here, $50 here, there. And so I also say to myself, I am in the current position because of the prayers that I've prayed in the past, right? And now, with the prayers that I'm praying now and all the seeds that I'm planting, I continue to smile with joy because when you reap and sow the ebb and flow of life can't do nothing but turn back around for the positive, depending on how many seeds that that you sow. So I get very excited to sing, dance, draw, write, speak to people because I know it's going to come back because that's how the rules are made. So once you get the aha moment, and you really, if you need therapy, go get it. I suggest it because I'm going. You just need someone who is a professional that can dig into the mind to help you understand why you are the way that you are. Some help came because I completed the circle by meeting my dad's side of the family. That was a beautiful thing. Just got off the phone with them earlier. We had a funeral, situation, but it was just beautiful because everyone came together. I actually did the obituary for the funeral, and I was just thankful I volunteered. I didn't want to, but I volunteered, but I said, this is a time where you get to really gel with this side. And then I got a cousin from Panama. We're doing Google Translator because she's speaking to me, and from Spanish to English, English to Spanish. This is a beautiful thing. And I'm like, wow. So I don't know. I know I'm not alone because I didn't just come here with my mom and my sister. But I got them, I got my immediate family, people in New York. I got friends galore, people like you, that connect with. And so you just got to wake up, smell the coffee, as people would say, and get with what's real. And just really, truly believe in yourself, speak to yourself so that you can, it'll comes out of you. The inside comes out.
Oh, indeed. I got to confess something to you, though.
Okay.
I had a dream about you.
Oh, about
a legit dream too.
Okay.
And we were going to talk about this when I saw your name on the interview. The dream I had about you was you were you weren't really a singer in the industry. You were like a motivational speaker who were using song and dance to heal children. You were doing step classes, but you had a camp and the girls were around you and you was giving them positive affirmations and teaching them how to dance, to use their voices, not only to sing, but to speak, to be proud. And that's the insight that comes from out of a person's spirit. And when I had that dream, right, I knew it could be done if that's what your vision is, because when we talked on the last interview and you talked about how you always had the story, remember we talked about the story of the song? I said the story I got was somebody courting you because you were worthy. And you were like, well, I set the picture, so somebody has to follow that template. I was really going into that, and that dream kind of showed me that sometimes what we see in other people is our template of what they could be for us. But sometimes the template that is given is what you need to fit to be for them. So you could crack a mold any way that, you deem fit. What does that, what did my dream mean to you?
It could almost be prophetic because I plan on being here God willing, till 100. So there's so much, there's so much time to do all of those things. The dream to me means that, you definitely see a few things that I have in mind, not only just within the industry, but just to dip off to the side, kind of like Michelle Obama, as far as with fitness and things like that. Like I can see that, and just pouring into people. There's something about kids that are near and dear to my heart. And I remember wanting to interview for the YMCA because I wanted to get personality. I told them I wanted to get personality because of the situation that happened with the label, that I lacked personality. I told them I didn't like kids, but I wanted to be a mom, which it didn't make any sense. So I remember we sang Tevin Campbell and Quincy Jones, Tomorrow, I think. So I taught the kids that. And we were in mind you, summer camp. It's hot, all of that. I got the kids together. We sang it for a closing assembly. And it was the most beautiful thing ever. And I said, wow. And I almost cried watching them there. I almost cried watching my niece graduate from kindergarten, little things like that. And I almost cried watching these teens when I went to Texas the second time when they were dancing in the juniors for this competition. There's something about seeing the inner child and people just coming into their own. And even if they're scared or afraid, I enjoy being like, oh, you could do it. I was a camp counselor for like 10 years. So I can see myself doing that. I just think your dream it was pretty prophetic. That's, I can see that.
The reason why I think that dream is significant, because that's not something the industry can give you. That has to come from the inside.
Okay.
It's funny how we go to church. Everybody talks about God on the outside, but even in the Bible, God spoke about him being on the inside and you having connection with that. For the kingdom of heaven is within. Mm-hmm. Pardon me. And it's within that we find our true freedom. But the world is teaching us we have to find people to give us liberty and reject the freedom that God gave us that was inside. Very anticlimactic, don't you think?
Yes, I was going to say, no, that doesn't. Mm-mm.
It's confusing because, listen, as a man on the outside looking in, not looking at.
Right.
Pardon me. As a man on the outside looking in, I see joy that has been caged for a long time. And that now that it's free, there's an abundance of energy and clarity that people have to get as much as yourself. And I see that when you dance. How does dancing and singing bring you to your core of happiness? And how do they rival each other when it comes to your happiness?
Very good question. Dancing and singing combine music together, which is like a universal language. And it is coupled with the freedom that's like unlocked within. Say it one more time. How does dancing and music add to my joy or my happiness? And how does it collide?
Not collide, but how do they rival each other and how do they bring you to the core of your happiness?
I feel like I can be me. I'm the only person that can sing the way I sing, dance the way I dance. You can try to be like somebody else, but why? Even twins aren't the same, So I am me, and that is like amazing. How do they rival? Do they rival? They may only rival in the literal sense of when I'm trying to learn something that may become difficult and I have to choose, perhaps, should you just sing? Should you dance for this? Some people feel like it's too much or they don't go together. Like I sometimes feel like I'm a Janet Jackson, Chris Brown, Sierra, Tiana Taylor, Whitney, and don't none of those, you know what I'm saying? None of those really mix. But I remember telling myself, like, I was like, no, I'm every last one of those, including Beyonce, every last one of those in one person. And all it is whatever you want to market, quote unquote. We can go the Chris Brown lane. We can go the Sierra lane. We can just go the Whitney lane if you want to. Where they rival is, I don't think people are ready to accept the total spectrum of what Tiffany Jaye has to offer. So we got to put it in pockets. And the first part, it gives me joy because I don't care how, if they fit. And that's what that is. I don't care if they fit. I can listen to whatever music and then you can tell she's got joy, she's got this and that. Like, yeah, of course. So I don't know if that answers the question, but that's how I feel about it.
No, it's dope. Cause I don't know about you. I love me some Janet Jackson.
Come on now.
Janet that's the GOAT. Listen. The only other person that I could hold on Janet Jackson level is Sade.
Okay.
Whitney and Vogue as a group.
Yes. Maybe some SWV.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Can't do it.
In Vogue.
Not in my playlist. I mean, that's just me I'm talking about. Not my playlist. Because let me tell you something. We're gonna talk about you, and we're gonna talk about Janet Jackson. All right. Let me tell you about some Pleasure Principle and how that was the thing that set off what R&B was until 2003 from the 1980s. And
all the way up until then.
Every woman, because I think Beyonce is the only thing that changed it. So every woman from every genre became mini Janet Jackson, right? Because you had to sing, you had to dance, and you had to deliver. Yeah. Look at the past Super Bowl 1 year ago, not this year. Was it Shakira and Jennifer Lopez doing the Janet Jackson?
Look at that
show, right? So when it comes to you now, right? Your delivery is what's selling the intrigue, but the music and the dialogue is selling the mystery. If you want everybody to know who you are, what's the most important thing they need to find out or learn from your music about you to know more about you, though?
I think they need to listen with their eyes closed, and truly hear what I'm saying. And knowing that I'm pretty much 90% behind all of the voices, 100% of the time, only if, we choose to put somebody else on the track. But the creativity is there, the effort is there, the vocals are there, the experience is there, which is what the song is about. So if you close your eyes and you listen, and also if you're watching me perform, just watch. There's a song called Forever Come to You that I remember when we finished it, I couldn't listen to it in the studio because I would cry every single time just listening to it because it was that close. It was terrible, in a good way. And then when it was time to sing it for real, people was just like it just hit you. And so that song I would love to receive a Grammy for. I need it to be done by an orchestra or a symphony, and we revamp it just basically with those sounds and make it larger than life. And that's like an ode to a long lost love or someone who you just really, really, really care for. But that's what that song is about. And it came at a time. So in my story, I recently posted that I was depressed 2014 for like 6 months or whatever. And that song came from that period. It came from that period. And so I would just say, listen, because I don't want to keep going on a tangent, but I would say, close your eyes and listen to what I'm saying. listen to how I'm saying it, the delivery, like what you were saying. And these are true events that have happened to me, and they mean something to me.
Word. See, that's what's up, everybody. For anybody who is not a member of heritagehiphop.com, shame on you. Become a member of the website, because membership is free. Not only have we highlighted Miss Tiffany Jaye's music, but we did a playlist called The Art of Story Rhymes. And in it, I say, take the time to watch the music that you're listening to. And making a quote like that, a lot of R&B music is storytelling music, but a lot of us don't listen to the story. We're looking to feel the emotion and the pressure of the event.
Right.
What's the most satisfying emotion you get from a song you've made and also a song that you listen to?
The most satisfying emotion is the question.
Mm-hmm.
From a song that I've made and something that I listen to. It reminds me of a good meal of food. So, you know, whether it's Thanksgiving or you get ready to go to your favorite restaurant or a restaurant you've never been to before, and you just like, like that's like, I'm a foodie. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Or it's like, or the food is like sex in your mouth. I don't know how to explain it, but your eyes is like, what? So food, sex, love, music, they're all in these highs, right? Mm-hmm. So I tried to elevate the experience of food by using the sex analogy. But I feel like that's what music is about, or that's what it makes me feel like. And it's just like having a good meal, or yes, a good encounter. Like it's to that magnitude. When I am done with the project and when I listen to something, that's how satisfying it is. Sometimes, have you ever just like maybe just played a CD, let's just say like an MJ CD, you just had it on blast and you just laid there and listened to it and then just went to sleep and just laid there with it on blast. Then you wake up like 3 hours later, like, cause it puts you to sleep, but it's on blast though. It's just infusing into your entire being. Like that's how fulfilling it is. Fulfilling to where sometimes you can even be still and then you just get the chills from like listening to something. I don't know what it is, but it's a total body experience. I don't know if anybody else feels those kind of feels that I feel, but music definitely puts you in that space. And I think as of recently, in the last maybe 2 years, I was trying to open up more. And I remember I went to a showcase kind of thing. And I understand now why people fall out and cry or whatever at concerts. It just takes over you. So the guy, it could have been maybe like 50 people in the room. And the guy was probably, I don't know, 5 feet in front of me. But he was just going in and I'm just listening like, yeah. And you could really feel the energy, not just from the people around me, but from him. And I was like, I've never felt this before. And I said, Tiffany, you're really now allowing yourself to connect with, you know what I'm saying, what's being given to you. So when you truly like let go of your inhibitions and you just relax and let the music do whatever it's going to do, just like dancing, whatever it's going to do, just let it do it. Whatever you feel, just do it. If you want to cry, if you want to laugh, just do it. Don't be afraid, just do it. So it's satisfying like food. Food is natural. Food, you're just gonna, it's in front of you, you're gonna eat it, right? So eat the music. What does it make you feel? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel amazing. Sometimes it makes you feel sad, but it's okay. At the end of the day, you'll always have that experience of, oh, this is the meal that I ate last week or yesterday. I ate Pleasure Principle. I ate Call on Me, Work For It. You know what I'm saying? Like those songs. And it picked me up. Sometimes I eat Before You Walk Out of My Life by Monica. Let me tell you, I've learned that song from when I was young. And only a few months ago last year, I don't know what it was because of the breakup, whatever, but I listened to those words and it hit. And I just said, come on, here we are face to face with the memories that can't be erased. Although we need each other, that's exactly what I went through. And I had been singing it, but there's something about when it actually speaks to you, you know? So sometimes, like, I've been listening to music all this time, and some songs, they hit. And then some songs, they don't hit yet because I hadn't experienced it. But oh, it's so beautiful. I'm just so thankful for the people who have, written it. Because there's so many people in the world that just need to, it may not fit me or you this time, but it may fit you this time, and this time, and this time. So it's just, the experience is like eating food, and it's satisfying.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why Heritage Hip Hop does not only do hip hop. That's why it's important for us to have artists like Tiffany Jaye, because experience is the best teacher. In hip hop, they keep a young man, a young woman's mind to keep you at a young man, a young woman's mind. And we appreciate people like Jay-Z, Nas, and Snoop that give us an elder perspective with an elevated mind. In R&B, if you really listen to what she said, it's the experiences in life that make the songs come true, and that's when the words hit you.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, I can admit to you, my favorite R&B song is Sam Cooke, Change Gonna Come, right?
Okay.
But the song that hit my heart was Michael Jackson, Windows to Your Heart.
Do I know that one though? What CD is that one on? Because I got them all.
That's on the Jackson 5 album.
That's why. And I might have that. I have to look back. I got a little case with all the CDs in it. I might not know that one.
That song is about a man looking at someone that he hurt, and now he has to deal with the sorrow in her eyes and ponder himself off of what he sees. For a little boy to sing that the way he did, that's amazing. And that's why to Miss Tiffany Jaye, I have a lot of belief in you.
Okay.
If you ask me, do I think you can make it? I would say no. I say, I believe you can make it. The reason why I say that is because thoughts can change. Thoughts can change like the wind. But your belief is something that you pattern your life by, because a belief is a fundamental moral obligation you have to yourself to be true to your own person. And I believe in you. I don't listen to you. Okay?
Okay.
And I went back to Say That You Want Me, right? And I really, really tried to dig deep outside of myself to put the lyrics inside of myself.
Right.
And I want to end our interview off with this question, because, ladies and gentlemen, Tiffany Jaye has music out right now. Make sure you purchase it, stream it if you want to check her out, but buy it because you will like it. After listening to the song, I wanted to ask you this. The inside of a person is the hardest thing to reach, because everybody meets you with their representative and their philosophy, and the heart is most guarded. When did your heart open in music, and why do you share it the way you do?
These are some amazing questions. Wow. When did my heart open to music? And why do I share it?
Yep.
I believe my heart open to music. It always goes to, like, my bio. I talk about Walt Disney. And I remember I first wanted to be a cartoonist. I was going to be working for Disney and go to school and learn all of that. And I was like, okay, well, we're not doing animations like they used to. I'll be in Pixar, blah, blah, blah. But with those classics, you got your Snow Whites, your Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Sleeping Beauty. That's when it opened to music, because if you think about it, remember, this man was like from the 30s, right? So you have actual music that's, made with, like we've talked about, like, classical music, orchestra and stuff like that. And the songs are written so well. And then what Disney has done up until this point. It's just, there's a documentary on him, if you listen to how innovative this man has basically changed the entire world. You got a few people like that. You're the guy from Apple, Steve Jobs, few people like that changed the world with their inventions. I believe that was the period that I was open to music, listening to Disney classics and the Whitneys, the Mariahs, the Boyz II Men, the Luther Vandrosses, the Janets, the Michaels. I was open to it because it's just a different world, that you can escape to. I agreed to share it because I didn't share that I sung. I knew I could sing, but I didn't share it with anybody. I only shared it with my stuffed animals. They were the only ones that knew. And I remember we were in church in the choir, and this girl, I can't remember why, but she was either afraid to sing the solo or whatever. And in my mind, I was like, I'll sing the solo. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah, I'll sing the solo. And I sang the solo, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, you can sing. And I'm like, duh. Like, to me, it was a duh, but to them, they didn't know because I was quiet. And then when I did that, that was the first, like, oh my gosh, I stepped out of my shell, baby. And that's when I started looking at, because it was Destiny's Child at the time. I said, I think maybe that's something that I could do. Like, I just did it in front of these people here at church. I think I could do that. Like, whatever they're doing is simple. I do it all the time back at home. I just got to get there. And it's crazy. Sometimes it's a happy thing and it's a sad thing. Sometimes I watch the Grammys, the MTVs, all of these shows. And I'm sitting there growing up alongside all of these people. And I'm like, I'm doing it with you. And I'm sitting here watching the shows, crying, like tears of joy, watching the shows, like, oh my God, she won the award. Oh, like, it's just like I'm there. And that's why sometimes it's great to watch them, and sometimes I don't know if I'm gonna watch the show this year because it's so personal. I love watching stuff like Introducing Dorothy Dandridge or the Tina that came out on HBO. I love watching stuff. I'm telling you, I'll be crying watching these things, not because I'm sad, but it's just like, so that's when I was open to it, because I think it just took me. And I was willing to share a piece of myself when I opened up that day. And I've been opening up ever since. And all I can tell you is I'm going to continue to keep opening up and discover stuff about myself. Like I'm loving myself more now, really excited about that and what that means. And all love does is give it to the rest of the world. So that's really what you see, an expression of my love for me. And I'm just giving it to you.
So if everybody out there is looking for love, it's right here on Heritage Hip Hop. Miss Jaye, please give everybody your social media and how they can get in touch with you.
What's up, everybody? This is Tiffany Jaye, and you can find all things Tiffany Jaye on MissTiffanyJaye.com or Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Miss Tiffany Jaye, and that's MSTIFFANYJAYE.
And we love her. Yes, we do. So with that being said, we've come to the end of the first part of the interview. We are now returning to the rapid fire questions. Are you ready for these questions?
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Tiffany Jaye is not new to this, but if you are, the rapid fire questions are not yes, no questions. These are questions designed to show your depth of knowledge of yourself, your craft, and the industry that you're in. Now, you already had these questions, so guess what? You get brand new questions.
Okay.
You ready to go?
No, but I'm ready.
Here we go. When I listen to your music, it makes me sit and think. But when I look at you celebrate, you make me want to get up and dance. What is the one dance that personifies you when you're singing?
What dance personifies me? I don't know. Running Man.
Okay, why?
Because you got to be upbeat, you got to be hype, you got to be fit, you got to have some endurance to do it. And that's everything that I embody
I
sing and when I dance.
Okay, I think as a dancer, you embody so many genres. What's your favorite genre to dance to?
Genre of music or genre of dance?
How about both, since you brought it up?
Genre of music is probably like house music to dance to. And style of dance would be Chicago stepping. That's what I'm into. And some of ballroom, but I think I like Chicago, and I want to get into some DFW swing and hand dance and stuff later down the line.
That'd be dope. I think that's what sold Janelle Monáe to a lot of people, that she could really dance and her vocals are off the hook. You know what I'm saying? And exactly. I kind of see that with you. I think with your dancing, you can open up more people to see the music rather than hear the music. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What's the what one song is the movie that plays whenever you hear it?
Say that again. What is the one song?
What one song is the movie that you see when it plays? Whenever someone sings it, you see the visuals of the lyrics and hear it, but you live it at the same time, not just listen to it.
Ooh. Okay. That's tough, because I'm thinking I'm just... Ooh. One of my... Okay. Fade Into the Background by Neo.
Why?
Neo was putting out all that music at the beginning when I was in college. And it's a good friend of mine who sometimes when I hear the song, I think of him as the guy that's fading into the background. And all that we were together and now we're not, and all that he's wanted since we've broken was he just wants the best for me, you know, and he will always be there for me whenever I need. And then once, you know, I've been passed over to someone that he believes that he, you know, I can trust, he can trust, so just, you know, fade into the background kind of thing. And I can see that. That's what I think of when I listen to that song. And Neo is one I hadn't mentioned him before, but he's also an excellent writer. Like Kevin Ross reminds me of Neo, and Neo was just around at a time where I was going through a lot relationship wise, and it really stuck. So when I hear his music, I go to where I was in college, and it just lets me sit there, and I'm just like, man, dang, that was a period of time in my life. You know, him and some of Ryan Leslie, that's for a different period, but definitely Fade Into the Background. Just, you know, that's the one thing that I could really elaborate on.
I heard an artist say that their dream in the music industry is to become an era. What is your dream in the music industry?
I don't like that. My dream is I want people to know that I was here, kind of like what Beyonce said in one of her songs. I don't necessarily have to have it all, but I want my peers, my family, and my friends to know that I never gave up and that something will come from this. And even if it doesn't, I've done far more than anybody that in my peer level has ever, you know, seen. I'm actually somebody that you can reach out and touch. And what I want from it, I want to know that it's real. And I want to know that I can actually like get there and be there. I remember I posted, I had recently was into custom framing, and somebody came because they went to the Grammys and they were framing their stuff from the Grammys, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm touching the stuff from the, oh. And I was like, that means it's like right around the corner. I don't know how long that is, but it's right there. Like, come on, really? And I just felt like it was like, hey, we're here. See you soon. Like, that's what I felt. I took pictures of it, and I was like, okay, keep that logged away. I remember we went to Atlantic Records. You know, I'm a part of 646 Entertainment, right? Why was my room number to the hotel 646? I was like, all right, you know what's going on. So everything that's happening has already been played out, and it's just for me to catch up. And so the possibilities are endless. Everything that I've asked for, that I've desired, that I've wanted, like legit, like I've gotten. So this is no different. You know what I mean? It's at a higher magnitude. So there's more stuff to prepare for, more things to learn, because there's a higher magnitude and responsibility that is taken from you. And I've always prayed that the transition is gradual so that I have time to adjust, you know? And so that's why, at least for me, things to some may seem like it's taking a long time, but I said, you don't know me. And this is what I need to get where I'm trying to go. And then when I'm ready, it'll happen. Everything is set up. I was in front of 1 million people today. It's set up. The music is there. Everything is set up to get the residuals. But it's about doing the work, you know, and understanding what the ministry truly is, so that when you get there, you don't just flop. And I'm not saying like one hit wonder flop, but you are truly like changing lives and touching people. But you can't really do that unless you're speaking to yourself, you know, and being true to yourself. And it's very hard sometimes on a daily basis when the people that you care about tell you things about yourself or suggest things, and you're like, but you didn't have the conversation that I had, the meeting that I had in my head when I did whatever I decided to do, you know? So I hear you, but I'm going to continue here. It's very difficult to do that. It really is. But I keep telling myself, you are the only you that walks in your shoes. So nobody, I mean, they can make suggestions, but you weren't there when I worked on the obituary, when I worked on my sister's pictures for her wedding, when I worked on the video, shot day 2 and edited and directed the video myself. And like, you weren't there and went to work. Like, you weren't there. So what I felt that I put out is the best part that I could do for that time. And I'm going to celebrate and congratulate that instead of beating myself up. We can work on the opportunities later, but right now, that's what matters. So I want people to know that I was here. I've always done the best that I could do, and I'm going to strive to do so much more.
Salute. We got 3 more questions, then we're going to fade out. Before we go to that question, tell me about your shirt. What's Polynation Apothecary?
Polynation Apothecary is, I don't know if you can see it, but it makes you bloom. And she's a soror of mine and a dear friend. I met her at Michael's, and what really turned me on to her, I was like, oh, you smell good. Like, smells are amazing. So I was like, you smell good. What is that? And she was at the beginning. She had just like recently left her corporate job. And basically she does hair care products, skin care products, soaps, lip balms. And at the time, you know, being natural, trying Shea Moisture and other different products, I just couldn't find something that really that my hair loved. And I tried her products, and my hair, my scalp loved it, you know? So that's what I have. I was gonna grab something from over there, but yeah, that's what I have. So this is a shirt. We did a promo for her. So I got a free shirt. And she's in some stores down here. She's always at farmers markets. Just some really dope products, and it works for all hair types. I'm talking about all hair types. So that's what this is about.
All right, so yeah, you got some free marketing. Heritage Hip Hop. Right. Let's do some partnerships. All right, salute the Polynation Apothecary. All right.
Yes.
So in my last 3 questions, we're gonna go to this. Here's question number 3 on the countdown. You've heard me sound like R&B, right? R&B is hard for me to get into because of, like you said, the experience. And I don't have a lot of experiences, so R&B can speak to my heart. And the one thing a lot of R&B I've been forced to hear is some people talk about cheating, cheating. Okay, cheating. All right. Okay. But the type of music that people sing that hits my heart is very offbeat, off rhythm. Before I got ready for this interview, I listened to Karen Wheeler. You familiar with Karen Wheeler? Soul to Soul. She's the mother of the offbeat rhythm. She that keep on moving, don't stop. No, that's so. Okay. Karen Wheeler has a laid back soul that's offbeat, but it's very impactful. Well, someone listens to Tiffany Jaye, what are they going to say you're what the style you are and what you are the mother of in music?
The mother of real.
Okay.
The mother of essence. And hopefully the mother of joy.
Salute. Second to last question. You've returned to Heritage Hip Hop. How was it?
Yo, I knew you was dope before, but like you really asked some amazing questions. Like I enjoyed myself because you really allow me to dig deep, and it's like by far one of the best interviews that I've been a part of. And I can tell that you truly listen and you do your homework. Like that's amazing. So big ups to you. Kudos to you.
Yeah, salute.
I had no idea, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself this time around. Not that I didn't before, but I just, yeah.
You make an impression, y'all. That's what's up. So the last question, unfortunately, is the last question because we could build all night. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I asked you the first time about your legacy. We've already established what your legacy is. Now, I'm gonna ask you about inspiration. There's a young lady that comes see you perform. And that young lady looks like the young lady in your picture, sipping on that juice, looking like what? In the camera. But the young lady's not asking you to be a singer. She's asking you, who is the best you? And how can that help me? What would you tell her?
Who is the best me?
Who is the best
how can
you? And how can you help her?
The best me is someone who can be honest with who they see in the mirror. I think there are a lot of times that I've lied to myself. Therefore, I'm not the best version because I'm lying or whatever. But yeah, being honest with your, not only your flaws, but your good qualities, puts you in a position to now move forward and just move forward. Because sometimes I feel like if you keep lying, you're like in a cycle and you may look like you're moving forward, but you're just repeating something from the past. And then next thing you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, you're still where you were. I've had situations, that's what calling me when the situation happened, I literally was like, yo, I feel like I'm in high school right now. And I was just like, why are you? I was like, whatever, I got time. Do you really? And then now you wasted an entire year. Not that you did, but so I already stated what was real, but I lied to myself. And you know what I'm saying? So how can I help that girl? Let's be honest and keep the honesty. Like, just keep the honesty. Believe in what it is and let's move forward. Period.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, moving forward is the best way to keep balance. And if you listen to the Heritage Hip Hop podcast before, me and Miss Tiffany Jaye talked about perfection, because being perfect doesn't mean you're flawless. It means you have balance. And the Most High said, love him within your inward parts and love yourself from your inward parts, because from the inside is where God's manifest in you to show the world that not only does God exist, but the best creation he made is you. So make sure while you create, you're giving the world your best, because within your best is your soul, your purpose, and the essence of life, which is truth, reliability, and creation. With that being said, this is Karev at Heritage Hip Hop with Miss Tiffany Jaye, who could dance all over your ass and then sing to you. With that being said, we say peace and we out.